We are back, baby. We are back.
Spears and Steinberg.
You know what the it is?
Aries and Andy. Jew and the Jerk.
You know it's time to get this work.
The real raw, gutter, uncut, cold. No political corrections.
Always sleep.
Being awoke. We discuss politics and jokes.
Scribe, we lit.
There's levels to this before you was on your mama.
Aries Spears don't give a fuck.
We talk about race a lot, racism. Much love to my loyal bag holders.
Rollers, loaders.
We got them in the folders.
The whole world on our shoulders.
Spears and Steinberg.
Yeah.
Before we get into this, I want to give a big shout out, a big, beautiful, loving shout out to the city of Atlanta. We are back, baby. We are back. I mean, like Jordan when he came back with number 45, and now we about to put on number 23 again. And I'm saying this passionately and enthusiastically because, listen, I made a personal vow that I was done with Atlanta. Not because I never liked Atlanta. You know, we always say Spondivits, and incidentally, it's Spondivits. We would say Spindivits, but the driver who picked me up...
Spondivits, with the P.
Yeah, but you were saying spin.
That's because the other guy at the shop told me that it was spin divots, even though it says spawn.
Right, but what's that buzzing that just came in?
I don't know.
It went...
What did you put your mic next to there? Yeah, could you get your mics off the cord?
Yeah.
Thank you. Our sound guy.
Mark. The driver that picked me up from the Atlanta airport, I was telling him, yeah, man, every time I come down, spin divots. He goes, it's Spondivits. But anyway, so we love Spondivits. Of course, Magic City, Gentlemen's Club. I've always said I liked Atlanta. But the comedy experience here in Atlanta, straight defecation. I mean, whether it was Uptown or Atlanta Comedy Theater, it just wasn't pleasant. So much so, it was so soul draining. I said, I'm done with Atlanta. And then, of course, you know, the franchise
Helium
that we do. They got one in Buffalo, St. Louis, Portland, Philly, Charlie Goodnights. That's what, North Carolina?
Yeah.
Raleigh?
Yeah, they have... No.
But anyway, they opened up the newest one here in Atlanta. And I remember I was telling Andy, I was like, man... You know, I know it's Helium. I know it's a franchise. It's a good franchise. But the fact that it's going to be in Atlanta, I'm thinking, yeah, you know, franchise club, new city, but the same clientele. So I was just rolling my eyes like, oh, here we go. Man, first of all, what's this, Henrietta?
Alfreda. Alfreda?
Well, wherever we are, it's 45 minutes outside of the city. One.
Alfreda. I think it's Alfreda.
And Alpharetta.
Alpharetta.
And then two,
Alpharetta.
I think because it is so far out, it just brings an upper echelon of Atlanteans. And I mean, I automatically assume because it's Atlanta, the audience is going to be predominantly black. I was thinking 90, 95% with some, you know, some Asians and not even Asians, but some maybe a Hispanic or two sprinkled in. Come to find out, it's heavily mixed, just like I love it. See, I still think the majority is black people, but it's probably 55, 45, you know, and a lot of whites, Asians every show, Hispanics, but not just the racial mix-up, the energy. You know, I talked to Godfrey for about an hour and a half yesterday. And me and Godfrey are so alike in not just our comedic styles, the way we think, our energy, what we like. And but even before he'll finish his sentence about some comedy shit, I'll finish it for him and vice versa, because we're on the same wavelength. So the minute I say up, I don't even have to say town. I go up, he goes, because we know this. And when he goes to me, how is it? Because I said, Godfrey, I'm in Helium right now, and I saw you have to be here soon. He goes, how is it? Because it's a new club. And when I finished describing it, he was like, finally, Atlanta has a real comedy club. And here's some context to what he meant when he says that. Like, you go to Uptown and you go to the Comedy Theater, and it's black ghetto shit. The toilets don't work. The tablecloths are cheap. The green room is shit. It really looked like they just went, let's find a place to do comedy in. And not only are we just going to find some random place, we're not even going to put no money into it. We're not going to make it look good. We're gonna do this as cheaply as we can just to make $1. Whereas, again, Helium, Funny Bone, Improv, they're franchises. And with any franchise, you have to uphold the brand. So it's a beautiful room, which brings beautiful people, educated, well-to-do. I love it. The shows have been phenomenal. I can't wait to come back.
I think the word should be comedy IQ.
That, okay.
I mean, because it's not about...
That's a prettier spin.
Yeah, well, because it's not really just about the mix of people and all. Like you just said, everything that you said. It's like if people come in, no matter where they are, and they have a great comedy IQ, we're going to go, yeah, this is going to be great because they get what we're saying.
Right.
And this place, the first night, Thursday, was the smallest crowd, and it was still a good room. But they were the quietest, and then we were like, "But this is still really good."
But let me just really make sure I emphasize this. Even at the quietest, they were great.
Right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
then every night, and we were talking about this last night. Every night, it just felt like the shows just kept getting better and better and better.
Right.
And so, and when I say better and better, I'm not talking about they were okay and they got better. I'm talking about they were good shows
And got better.
Yeah.
Last night's first show, I mean, I'm sitting in the back watching your set, and I went, they're hanging on every word. They're attentive. And when they laugh like the world is ending tomorrow.
Yeah, it was a fun.
And
set.
again, I was so apprehensive because I'm just going, like Godfrey said, there's never been a real comedy club in Atlanta. Yeah, and I'm not trying to shit on the black establishments, but God damn it, take care of your shit. Run it right. Run it with class. And you know, when I caught flack on Vlad, when I go, I don't like performing in the South. And I've always been very clear to say this each and every time. I'm not on the South itself. I know tongue-in-cheek, I'm being funny, I'm running off some of the stereotypes. I know I give the South, but I really got love and respect for the South. The people, the culture, the food, the women, and I've always been honest when I said, but me, I'm Ray Gibson, city boy, you know, Claude. I'm a New York, but I got love for my brethren in the South. But I've always said, comedically, I think because the culture and the pace is a little bit slower, and I don't even really throw, well, no, let me not do that. I think some things that I do go over people's heads. And I remember in the comments, oh, you ain't complex. Your shit ain't intelligent like you say it is. You just ain't funny. Nigga, you just whack. And suck my dick. That is so beyond untrue. Because when we were in Memphis at Chuckles, one of the dudes who was a local comedian who was pretty high on himself, he even admitted it. You know, he a little arrogant because he was that dude in that region. One night we sitting there and after the show, we hanging out this little establishment. And dude just turned to me and went, hey man, you cold with it, man. For real, man, I ain't gonna lie, you cold with it, man. And when I was at the Stardome in Birmingham and I'm doing my thing, and then yelled out, God damn, nigga, time out, you good. So it's like, I'm a beast on this mic. But there are a certain group of people, a certain kind of people from the South, where listen, man, I'm driving a Ferrari, and my shit go past you. And so, because rather than feel, you know, hurt about it, attack me. Nah, you ain't all that. So, and when me and Andy was at Uptown, and I said this before, I said this to Godfrey, to be on stage and look down at you while you look at me as you suck on your chicken drumette and look at me like I am just, like, I slapped your grandmama. All because you don't have the intelligence level to keep up with me. So I'm hearing you suck on your bone. With that face and that attitude is, who this man? I know I'm sharp. I'm as sharp as a tack, and I'm a beast. Keep up, catch up. So that's why I had a for the South. But Atlanta, and this is my fault, and I apologize, because I was thinking this is all of Atlanta. It's not. Like any community, black urban community, there's Chris Rock. I love black people. I hate tribes. There are black folks who are good times. Hey, I'm Lenny. Give me a penny. And then there are the Huxtables. Dad, what's chapter 7 say? And I got love for the niggas. The niggas got love for me. Like street always tell me, hey, I with you, man. I with you. And I with y'all. But sometimes y'all, I need them readers. Them niggas that read. I need niggas that lick their fingertips to turn the page. So Atlanta got that. I'm glad I saw that part of it. I love it. I love it.
I'm going to let you stay on that side of the street. I'm going to avoid the rest of that conversation. Hey, listen, man, but what you said, though, when you said they're hanging on every word, that's the greatest part about when I say comedy intelligence, too. That's where they're, like, wanting to go with you on the journey.
And
like,
they can.
And we're like you said, sometimes people come out and they're like, make me laugh. That means you're not ready for the journey. You want to stay right here. Make me laugh right here. Don't take me anywhere. Just tell me jokes and make me laugh.
I said it Thursday night with this posture. You know, we seen these. You know, sit your ass up and pay attention and be ready to receive some comedy instead of being confrontational. Yeah, I sell drugs and I run the streets and I got 50 hoes and I got jewelry from the swap meet. Show me what you got.
Hey, I'm not
out of here, man.
I'm not knocking any of those guys who sell drugs because those guys come in and they're the most generous people.
Yes, they are. Some of them, yes, they are.
Yeah,
Yes,
they are.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
And like I said, when up to my city, it comes with a behavior. It comes with a mentality. It comes with a bravado. And it's like, not to, you know, I'm not on y'all, got nothing but love for y'all. But when you come in with an attitude and a bravado and a behavior, I have to fight through that to get you to do eventually what you came here to do. As opposed to people who already are coming in with the psyche of, I can't wait to laugh, versus make me laugh.
That sums it up right there. Those are the two roads.
Ugh.
Which one you want to go down?
And I'm saying that to say, this is what's tiring that me and Godfrey talked about. We started out doing that. The Peppermint Lounge in New Jersey. Terminal D in Newark. Confuego in the Bronx. I started out having to fight you, and I did it successfully. And it partly made me who I am as a comic. But at 35 years in, I don't want to ball my fists up no more. Come on, man, let's have some fun. I don't want to fight you. Put the wing down. Listen. All right. You ready to really turn some people off?
Sure.
We're going to talk politics.
We're going to talk politics?
Yeah.
You're not going to talk about anything else? We're going to go straight to politics? That's fine
As
with me.
opposed to what?
I don't know. I didn't know if you had anything else.
No. Let's talk about the salute that was heard around the world. Was it or was it not
Well,
that?
it wasn't that either. It
was.
was this weird ass throwing himself.
So
up
let me
there.
ask the Jew, because I remember, what do they call that league for Jews?
The ADL,
The ADL.
the Anti-Defamation League.
They jumped to his defense and said,
They didn't jump to his
Well, no,
defense.
from
They were
what I
asked. They were asked.
well, okay, and their response was, we didn't feel he did anything offensive.
They didn't feel that there was actually the Mark. How Zig Heil? Is that how it's supposed to be? Is that what it said?
It's more umph than that, but yeah, Zichal.
Yeah, but I'm
gotta
not-
put that
I'm not
in
putting.
it.
I'm not spitting up my food to get that out.
I don't mean to stop you. I just got to do this because it just reminded me. Funny ass joke. Patrice was talking about basketball, and he said blacks belong in basketball because even when it was all white, when the league first came out, it wasn't entertaining. Because I know Hitler probably watched it and went, that. But go ahead.
Listen, I think it's man. I honestly, when I watched it, It doesn't look like it to me, but when I watched it again, it looks like it to me. Like this, when I first saw it, it just because he turned around, the way he did it, and the way he's so awkward, I didn't feel that because of who he was. And then, then they played other people. Tim Waltz is the one that was the closest that did the whole thing and then put his hand up. Now, he does put his hand up like this, but you can look at other pictures of Nazis and they have their hand up like this too, like the Tim Waltz did like that.
Well, let me stop you for a second on that note because, the immediately all over social media, the right and the Trump fans were going, "Oh, you guys, the media, y'all running with this." But what happened when they did it? And then they showed Kamala Harris with the arm out, Barack Obama with the arm out. Again, Waltz had done it. I forget what the one white woman, older woman, Democrat, she did it. But what they showed you was still pictures. Then when they showed the actual footage, first of all, Kamala Harris did hit her chest, and she pointed first and then pointed in this direction. But the way they cropped the picture, it had her doing this. Same thing, Barack, Waltz, they all...
No, Waltz's was definitely...
No, but Waltz went like this.
The same thing he did.
Right, and had an open hand.
No, but he
out.
did just like this. And
No, it's not the same, Andy. Look at it.
I did. I pulled it up. Pull it up.
It's not the same as Elon Musk,
No,
Andy.
it's not the same as Elon Musk.
Okay, so my point is, even though the right is trying to go, the Democrats did it too. They didn't do it the same.
Pull up other people doing that, and when you see the marches of the Nazis, they have it like this as well. The same way
Open
Waltz did.
fingers, just like that?
Yeah, it's the same way Waltz did. It all depends on who you get to do it. That's why I'm saying. But here's my problem with it, and this is my problem with Trump and the whole issue here. This was happening when this changed the media cycle, when Biden gave away all those pardons, especially on his family. And it changed the whole media cycle. And Biden was one of the ones who commented on Trump not giving out these, when he was leaving office the last time, not to do these pardons because it was going to set a precedent that he felt was bad for the country. And Biden went and did it. And it changed the media from talking about that, Elon's thing doing that, to I think something that we're going to feel the effects of now, what Biden did. Trump never did it. Biden did do it. Biden did it for his family. He went back, and it protects his family for 11 years from the day they get the pardon. So what happened 11 years ago? These are questions that are not being talked about because we're talking about this. I don't know. He's an awkward dude. I don't know. His history doesn't say to me that he's a Nazi, but he's also a troll. So did he do it just to cause a stir? I don't know.
Well, they mentioned, and this is again where you not just being Jewish, but a father who has a son with Asperger's, right?
Yeah.
So this is where your expertise might come in again. They say he has Asperger's.
He does.
So does that have something to do with it?
It doesn't have something to do with it. It can be. I mean, if he was very excited and he's awkward, and he did do the chest thing where he was like, my heart, and he says it's from my heart afterwards. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hard. I can't tell you what's in your heart. But listen, the reason, and here's the truth of this. If you show the videos, Hillary's looks weird, Barack's looks weird. Camilla's doesn't. But what I'm saying is, you don't associate that with Barack.
Or Kamala.
So
they're black.
No, not only because they're black, because you just don't associate them with Nazis because they've never been called Nazis before. So if someone's if their party is called Trump's a Nazi, this guy's an oligarch, this is the Nazi. So, and then you see him do that, confirmation. So someone else can do Waltz can do that. And you're not going, well, he's a Nazi because no one associates Waltz with Nazis.
I have a question though.
But there's also the face on Elon.
Well, that's part of the.
lip.
That's part of the. What do you think?
That's part of the Asperger's.
Yeah, he's excited and he's making a goofy. You saw the fucking when he jumped behind Trump that time, and he's making goofy faces and jumping, and his shirt's looking like a crop top. Did that have anything to do with Nazism?
Well, I don't know. I don't study Nazis.
I don't know. I don't think so, unless there's a whole group of Nazis that are crop top wearers. But I'm just saying,
They're probably some gay Nazis.
it's just some weird. And he is a weirdo, so it's hard to put that on him without, but their party has been associated being said that they're Nazi-like. That's what they said about Trump. And so that's why it's easy to go, oh, see, that's confirmation. When Waltz did it, not one person said anything about it because no one associates Waltz with, the media has never associated Waltz with Nazis. So when he does it and he taps his chest and goes like that, no one says anything. And you said you never studied it. So then, but why are you differentiating this?
Because when I've seen Nazis do it, I've only seen that.
They don't even do this. This is what it is. This whole this is extra. This is extra. This is movie. This is when Hitler was coming by. This was what they're doing. They're coming from here. Man.
Well, when they were critiquing Elon, they also showed the footage of where he was speaking at some function of his, and he goes, when he said the whole thing is, "My heart goes out to you."
Yeah.
He said
he does this too.
Right.
But he did this afterwards. Like even after he does it, he's like this, my heart, and he's doing the same thing. Listen, you can make it that he's a Nazi, or you can make it that he is a guy that's on the spectrum. I know he's on the spectrum. I don't know that he's a Nazi. I know he's on the spectrum.
I have a question for you, Andy. Though, what if he did that? I don't think that was I think it's stupid. There's way dumber things to worry about.
I agree with you on that. But I'm trying to answer the question.
After that, he went to Germany and spoke for what's known as the ADF, and they're like a far right populist movement in Germany. And he said that we shouldn't worry about, because in Germany the Holocaust is like you don't like that's a
you
very
don't talk
serious
about
subject.
any. There's no.
But he says something. What if he said something along the lines of, "You shouldn't be punished by the sins of your fathers. That happened. We should move on from this." Would that be kind of f***ed up?
No. No, because in this country, do you want to be punished for the sins of your father for what they did? I don't know if your father's been slaveholders.
But doesn't it just kind of have this like?
No, because we're
you said a Nazi salute. Now you're going. Let's lighten it up about feeling sad about the Holocaust.
Okay, no. It's not about not feeling. You still take personal responsibility.
Why would you say that? There's a million things to talk about.
I don't know why he would say that. I don't know why he would say that.
I was hoping you were going to say no because it actually happened.
But I already know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what is that? Why do that?
I don't know why you would do that, but I could give you some reasons why. Because they had suffered, they had gone through what they had after this, after the war. They have become a major power not a major, but not like a major power, but they're still a power. They still are people that we do business with, and do you still no one's getting into their Mercedes.
Should they stop paying reparations to Holocaust survivors?
Are they paying reparations to Holocaust survivors? Or are they paying for what was taken, physical, like money?
I mean, like there's a fund.
Yeah, because the money that was taken.
I'm guessing this far right group does not want to pay that fund.
I don't know if they should have to pay the. Here's my.
Why? Are you kidding me?
No, are they paid? How long does this continue to be paid for?
For living survivors.
For living survivors that had money from having their monies and everything taken from them, right?
I mean, a lot of them now were just children.
So until that's done, yeah, pay them. But when it's over, it's over. Yeah. Because they took property from them. They took there's paintings, there's property, there's homes, there's businesses.
Shoes.
Well, there's businesses. All the Mercedes and Porsche had Jewish investors in it. I don't know if you know that. Do you know that? The partners of them were...
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Jews had their money in everything.
No, okay, Jews were they were one of the partners in Porsche, and they were one of the partners that it was in Mercedes, but that was taken from them. Okay. They were kicked out of it.
Isn't it just like, what are you doing?
Well...
all you are is going into this populist movement of like identity politics, us versus them. Like, what are you doing?
Wait, who's identity politics? Who's doing identity politics?
I'm guessing it's not a lot of black people in the ADF.
No, probably not, because Germany wasn't made up of black folks.
Yeah, but it's the same as here. It's like, of course, there could be tokens in the group, but mainly when you look at it's all white people.
I'm trying to understand what you're saying. Okay, so it's all white people. So
saying,
what's the identity politics that you're looking for?
It's kind of like, we'll argue about the Nazi salute, but those comments, too, of him telling them to forget about the Holocaust.
Wait, just stop for a second, because this is what you do.
Isn't there other things to talk about?
No. Yes, there's other things to talk about, but listen.
Then why is he talking about it?
But this is what you just did. Where did identity politics go? You're talking about a white country.
Where did Mercedes-Benz and Jews owning Mercedes-Benz come from?
Because when you take their money from them and their investment,
I'm just
do
saying,
you owe for that?
Nazi salute, I'll give him a break. What do we? But now it's starting to get weird. It's starting to like act like a duck.
Is it? It's a country that has laws that can never, so that this never happens again. You can't even name somebody Hitler in Germany. Everything, all the Goebbels, all those guys, they can't have their name anywhere in their country. Do you know that? They removed
Yeah, and
this.
guess who probably wants to repeal that?
Who?
Probably because of freedom of speech.
No, that's not about freedom of speech anymore. This is about
Really?
righting a wrong.
I mean, in this country, that wouldn't last. Doesn't matter what you did during slavery. We could build a statue or say your name.
no,
That's freedom of speech.
I don't know. We're building statues anymore, are we?
I don't know.
I think
taking
the purpose was not to destroy them, to put them in museums where they belong, not to offend people.
Okay.
Let me slide more into some other areas of Donald Trump's presidency, early young presidency, the return of the Empire Strikes Back. They showed a photo where I guess he went to California and he shook hands with Governor Newsom, and they pointed out how there was this, like, they shake my hand. There was this macho thing going on between him and Newsom,
Yeah.
like this back and forth of whose is bigger. And I just thought that moment was interesting because it's like, this is why I go Trump is entertaining. The cojones on this, like he called Governor Newsom Governor Newscom during the fires. But then you get off a plane and you shake hands with this. How do you expect him not to want to break every bone in your hand like he's General Zod? It's from Superman 2.
Well, from what I understood, he didn't request Newsom to be there. He requested him not to be at any of the things that they were doing.
Right.
And Newsom showed up.
I would think so. What'd you say about me?
Well, listen, man, if you want to have a hair contest, Newsom wins.
In terms of nice hair, great hair, Pat Riley hair. Right.
He's the Pat Riley of politics, bottom line.
Yes.
So he wins that one. But, Trump was talking about what they did, and Newsom, depending on how you want to break down what happened, Newsom also is deflecting and saying that's not true. Some of these things aren't true. And then, he said, I don't think Trump understands. There's not a spigot. No, there's not a spigot. And I think he understands that fully. But is there a way to get the water down that they've been dumping into the ocean to get down to Southern California? And if there is a way, if we can get gas from Alaska in a pipeline, can we not get water from the north of California to the south of California? I think that's what was trying to be said.
Right.
And we're gonna deflect because they have so many obstacles, laws, protections, everything that you can imagine in they started to fix some things in California, and then somebody saw. They talked about it. There was some little plant that was growing, and they threw a big fit, and then they stopped. I forgot what it was that they were doing, but they stopped because they wanted to save. They had to save this plant. They didn't pick it up and move it somewhere else or try to grow it somewhere else. It's growing. It's not a plant.
Well, listen, and I understand it.
The fish.
I understand in
The
terms
smell.
of
No, the fish. I'm talking about a plant. There's more than there's a lot of different things going on in California. Go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
understand the part of the thing of politics, be it right, left. We got to fight. It's one party versus another. But I'm not. My bigger point, if anything, if they're supposed to be working for us, the people, aren't they supposed to go? Let's do what's necessary, especially in time of tragedy, to help the people and be political and put aside our for the sake of the people. Why does Trump have to go new scum? Do you have to say that?
No, he doesn't. But that's who he is.
I know that's who he is, but how does that help us, the people? If you can piss off Newsom, now there's a handshaking dick contest. Like, you know what I mean?
They already have their issues. So this isn't. First of all, if he's never called him names, or they never had issues between each other, and it was just him saying this, yeah, I would say you're just you're digging a trench for no reason. This trench has already been dug between them. But here's the thing that I would say about this, and going to your point, and I disagree with you about one thing. you said that they're fighting each other because they're on two different sides. They're not. They're on the same side. It should be on the American people's side. That's why they were elected and put in office. They have different ideologies. They have different ways that they believe the country should move forward. But once you're in office, the only goal you should have is moving forward for the people.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes, and I agree with you 100%. This is why sitting here today and defending any of this is bothering me, because if you heard me this weekend, as much as I disliked the agenda that Biden had and that he put forward to, and the people voted on because it wasn't common sense legislation on certain things, not everything that he did, but certain things were just going too far. The liberal side it's about progressiveness and moving forward. The conservative side is about, hold up, you're going too far, too fast. That's really how I look at this. That's how it should be, and that you should fight over whether it's far. Yeah, man, you know, these people to come over and do the rooms. Like, I left today to say, you know.
You have your thing on your door? You doing the store?
No. But I wanted them to do it earlier today.
Oh.
They were standing right in front of my door. And I said, if you could get to the room, I'd appreciate it, before we started the podcast, because we recorded here. And they said, okay. And now that we started the podcast.
Did they say okay, or did they go, I don't believe?
No, they said, okay.
Okay.
4 hours later, they're knocking on the door while we're doing the podcast. So I should, next time I'm going to say, can you do it right now?
Right.
Anyway, it was frustrating. Anyway, going back to what I was saying. If you listen to me, I did beat up.
you some towels, Andy.
Thanks. I did beat up Biden over the weekend because of what he did. But then I beat up Trump because, listen, if I have to hear him one more time about, I'm doing a great job. Dude, if you're doing a great job, that's why you were elected. You know, he's the same person that probably is going to complain about a football player doing a dance in the end zone, even though they just did what they're supposed to do, was score a touchdown. Do you remember people saying that?
Not really.
There was a time when they were saying that you weren't allowed to do the end zone dances because, and then other people go, and then the people were saying, because that's what you're paid to do. That's what you're supposed to do. Why do you celebrate? You're not winning the game. But you celebrate
Stop
because
being flashy, niggas. That's what that is.
Yeah. But then I think Trump would be one of those guys who would probably say some shit like that. But then he's the guy that's still being the guy that's saying, Trump, my policies, and I did this. I don't care what you don't have to jerk yourself off, dude.
Well, tell me if you think this part is true. They said that, and a lot of people on social media, Trump has done more in 4 days than Biden has done his whole administration in 4 years, because of, he said he was going to do mass deportation. He did it. He took the residents off the streets in North Carolina that were displaced because of the hurricane and put them in fully furnished apartments. He did it. So he's looking like the man right now.
He did. He's doing what he said he was going to do. But I have issues with this too, because, listen, to say this whole thing, I don't want to spend my time just talking about Trump like this, but I always said I would vote. I voted for him. I said I think that his policies are going to put us in a better place than the policies of the Biden administration and what Kamala Harris is going to do going forward. Doesn't mean I like him, and everything that I don't like about him has makes my skin just itch right now. Because,
some lotion.
Yeah, I'm probably going to give it to Trump because he's jerking himself off so much he needs it. You're doing what you set out to do, but to say I'm going to do this day one, I'm going to do this, and it's funny because the media buys it. The media buys into this hook, line, and sinker. So everything he doesn't do, they're going to talk about, and then the things he is getting done are sliding by. You guys got to stop being. The media has to stop being just so gullible in this. We're spending a day talking. We spent 2 days talking about whether Elon Musk. And I'm not saying you have every right to ask this question. I'm not saying you shouldn't. But they spent a whole 2 days on it while we ignored the Biden pardons. I said some of the things that Trump is trying to do, some of the things that the courts have already put a stop to that he's trying to do. So yes, you're saying that he's accomplished these things. Yeah, but Biden accomplished some of the things that he wanted to do too. I just don't like some of the things Biden wanted to do. I think that. I'm not going to say that he did more in his first few days, than Biden did in his whole administration. But he is honoring what he said he was going to do. The North Carolina thing was very important. I think that was important. Starting to get control of the border is very important. And he's putting these things out there. Now we're going to have fights. And here's where the media gets disingenuous again, because now every time I turn on the TV, it's these people are suing the Trump administration to stop it. They did the same thing. Other states did the same thing to Biden, but they didn't go on to hours of maps and showing everybody that's trying to sue Biden's White House either. The media is still going to be the liberal media. it's still going to be the people that are supporting. Well, let's put it this way: there's still going to be the people that are rejecting what Trump wants to do for reasons that it's not nice. But as I fight with Mark all the time, and this is going to be a 2-against-1 throughout this whole presidency here. As I said this, and this is about not niceness. It's about what we need to do to improve our country and to make things better. And it's not always going to be nice. And sometimes it doesn't feel nice. And I said, the thing when you get on a plane and they say if the overhead oxygen mask should fall from the compartment above, you place your oxygen mask over your nose and mouth first before helping others. And it sounds like a horrible thing. I have kids. I want to take care of them. You can't take care of somebody if you're not well. If you aren't getting your oxygen, you're going to pass out, and your kids are going to die because you didn't get it on them because you were so worried about your kids first and taking care of yourself second. That's how we are in this country when we're talking about we have to do this first, we have to take care of these people, we have to take care of these immigrants, we have to take care of this part. No, Trump is making a very basic statement. We have to take care of of America, the United States of America, get our shit together, and then we can go out and do these things. But you can't do them on a broken leg and one arm.
Yeah, I saw a clip where Bill Maher said, Trump was hated, and there's still large groups of people that hate him, but as much as he was hated in the beginning, he's not only did more people vote for him, he's actually becoming cool.
I don't think he's becoming cool. And if he is, he's ruining it with his jerk-off sections on TV, to me.
Well,
the
jerk-off, you don't mean the...
No,
Oh,
I'm talking about him just giving himself praise.
Okay.
Why do you need to praise yourself? Listen, that would be like if, I don't know what God you believe in, but that would be like if your God came down in front of you and said how great of a God he was. I'm the greatest God.
But he's God.
He doesn't have to say it because he's God. If you're a great president, be a great president. Let other people say you're a great president.
Would you rather have a guy who gets done and jerks himself off, or a guy who doesn't jerk himself off and call himself a great president, but is not a great president?
No, I'd rather have the guy that's being a great president, but I'd rather have the guy that so believes in himself and what he's doing for the people that he'll let the people tell him that he's great, and he'll shut the up and do the job.
I like Mel Gibson's quote. Mel Gibson said, "It feels like Daddy's home and he's taking his belt off."
Yeah, that was fun. But see, that's great that he said that, and that's a great analogy that he made. But I could see Trump now at some point going into a speech and going, "Dad's here. I got to take this belt off, and Dad's home." He doesn't need to say it. Be the guy that other people say great things about.
Like I said, man, his shenanigans are very entertaining, man.
It's not entertaining to me. It's disappointing to me because I would think that if you won, this is why I feel this way. If you felt like you were doing a good job on your first term, and then you got voted out, and you have reasons that you believe, whatever the reasons you believe you're out, you can make them whatever you want it to be. You were an embarrassment on your way out the first time. I'm going to say there's no doubt about it. You were an embarrassment about it. And I said this before when we were talking about it years ago, before this, when Al Gore said, over the hanging Chad thing, and they could have went to another court, and they could have went to eventually the Supreme Court, and Al Gore said, "I got to put the people of the United States first. I'm going to step back. I concede to Bush so that we can get on with the business of the country." That's what I mean by not being a jerk-off specialist. That's mean putting your country before yourself and all your and that you want to talk about. And he didn't do that. But in spite of that, the people saw this last administration and said more people came back over to the side because they didn't like it. They saw that it wasn't reasonable. And I'm not saying this guy is great. I'm saying what they saw going on wasn't reasonable, so they were able to move over and do what they felt was best, and they voted for him. And now you have this incredible comeback, and the people are with you. You don't need to tell everybody how great you are. No one wants that. They want a guy who they can believe in that doesn't have to tell you that you still owe me for doing this. I appreciate what he's doing. I appreciate the fact that he came back and he's doing this. I would like to see someone who's more sensible as a human being in that office, but this is the best we had right now, so I'm taking it. But I just wish he would just shut the up and govern.
And listen, here's in my joke when I go, there might even be some things very seldom that I agree with him on a policy standpoint. Again, I'm not a Trump guy, but certain things I go, yeah. Now, when he goes, you know, I shouldn't get in trouble for this because you have the right to agree or disagree.
Yeah.
When he goes, there are only two genders. I agree.
I think everybody agrees. I think every single person agrees. Just because there's two genders, biological genders, doesn't mean you don't have the right to feel like you don't fit into the suit that you were given. And I understand that. And if you want to live that way, but I can't, for 1% of the population, less than 1% of the population, I cannot change the entire ideology of what human beings are. And that's the difference in the conversation. But I'm not going to stop you from feeling the way that you need to feel and what you need to do. But I do think there's some sensibility when it comes to kids and how we promote this. And I agree with that. I agree with it. I'm sorry. I agree with it. I agree with it. I don't know that I can get behind this ideology because technically, it's body dysmorphia. And that is something that I don't know that I can go, okay, some people may be in the wrong body, but I can't go with that because some people just don't understand. There's some mental issues with it as well. If you're living your best life, I'm going to support you the whole way through. Live your best life. But that's where it stops.
That makes me nervous. Therefore, I can't walk on that limb by saying it's a mental issue.
It is a mental issue.
Okay, I'll let you.
It's
just
called,
like you told me in the beginning, you gonna stay on that side of the street.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stay on this side of the street.
I want to explain it though. The reason I say that it's a mental issue, it is called body dysmorphia. It is listed as a mental issue. Now, some people are going to say, and that it has nothing to do with my mental. My mental. This is I feel this. I am 100% this. I think there are some people that fall into that category. It's a small percentage. It's less than 1%. And if you fall into that category, like I said, I'm here to support you. I will support you through this. But that doesn't mean that I need for people to take advantage of a loophole where they can go to prison and then say, nope, I'm a woman, go into be put in a woman's facility. And you're shaking your head. This is true because we know we have pregnant people getting pregnant in women's prisons because the dudes. If you're a dude and you're a criminal and you figure out that you can go to a woman's prison by saying that you're a woman and having not having to be in a men's prison, being in a woman's prison, and that's your loophole, and you don't have to do anything, you don't have to transition, you can go in there with balls and with berries and twigs, I want to make it nicer, and you can be in that place. Why? And you're a criminal already. Why wouldn't you do that? What would stop you from doing that? Go ahead, Mark. Tell me what would stop you from doing that. But you have to come with me with a criminal mentality.
Are you worried about sexual assault? Is that what we're worried about?
No. I'm worried that people are trying to circumvent the system.
I have a feeling if these transgender go to the male prisons, there's going to be a lot more rapes.
Well, how many rapes do you know of right now?
If you're doing all the whole girl thing, and you're like acting like a woman.
They're not.
You're the bitches now in the male prisons.
They're not. Those people aren't even transferring.
And they'll probably love it too.
They're not transferring those people. People who figure out the loophole are the ones that are transferring over to those prisons.
I know, and I feel like there's things like like whether it's the sports thing or the prison thing, or there are a couple things that the left didn't like really want to talk about, but just coming back to are there, like, is transgenderism like a thing that we should not, like, you're just born that way? Like, gay people, like, that could be a mental disorder. We don't say don't fuck dudes. We say dudes. Now we accept you.
It was listed as
so
a
then
mental
why
disorder.
why would you be like, don't transition? It's like, no, transition.
I didn't say don't transition. You just said that. I didn't say that.
But I think
said
it goes
I'm
back
here.
to I think like to maybe a little bit for Aries, it might just go back to it's weird and it's like it's hard to.
I don't care if
digest.
you're born.
It is weird. It's disgusting.
I don't care if you're born in the wrong body and it doesn't fit, but there's still only two genders. So if there is only if there's
there's gender and there's sex.
Yes,
and I don't think anybody.
But when you say born in the wrong body, no, you were born in the right body. It's your mindset that makes you think you're not. But you were born in the body you were born
That's where this becomes gender dysmorphia. And then you have to decide whether chemically in your head you are in the wrong suit. I like saying suit because it makes sense to me. But-
everything I've looked up does like point to you should transition. You do feel better. The problem is a lot of them are transition too late, so they just look like men in dresses.
Well, that's not only it.
So
Some people have.
I think the answer is we do need to change them when they're younger.
No.
So they look like sexy men.
No.
Women.
What?
Yeah.
No.
So they can fit in with society. If you go around everywhere with an Adam's apple, you're going to look like a freak.
One of the things that you're missing that you just said is
There's a lot of women without legit women without Adam's apples that look like freaks.
I know. And imagine like having like those men that transition when they're like 45. That's got to be a rough life. You don't do that unless it's like that's what you feel like your best self is.
Caitlyn Jenner. She won.
Well, she has money.
Okay, but she still did it then, and much later than 45. She
Officially, I guess in this country it is he.
She.
Whatever.
If we're gonna play the game right. She's
Well, then I'm flipping over the board.
she did everything that she was supposed to do to become Caitlyn. My point is, though, some of this is body dysmorphia. Some of this can be changed. Younger people have grown out of the idea that they're not their sex, that they're biological sex. So this is very complicated, and for us just to blanketly go, this is the way it goes, is ridiculous. And we're doing this for less than 1% of the population. And this is growing and exploding, and it's never been this high in the population before. This is something that we need to slow down on. This is where I said conservatives are about, wait, we're going too fast, and liberals are going, hey, we got to get down the street. This is the two differences between the two parties. This is the bigger difference to me. And sometimes when we're going too fast, you need someone to go, hey, slow down. And other times when we're going too slow, we need someone to go, let's get this bus going. And I think we're in a point in America where we needed to slow down a little bit because we're not looking at the fallout from the going faster right now.
But what if theoretically the science said no, we should speed up?
The science said we should speed up, but the science isn't there. The science isn't
there. It says, I look it up. It says people who detransition, 13.1%. 13%. That
What?
doesn't seem that bad of a number.
Detransition?
Seems like we're getting.
Wait. Detransition, right?
Yeah. Go.
If we're so sure, why do we have any that are if you know this and the science is pointing
It's
in the right
never gonna be
direction?
perfect.
So what side do you want to err on?
I feel like 1 out of 10 ain't bad.
Well, and
When I was
I
on
love
Reddit-
that you said 13% because
and also to a lot of that too is their family still not accepting them. A lot of them is family acceptance and societal
Okay.
acceptance.
and now let me give my retort, if you would, because you love to talk over me. At the 13.1%, that's in funded studies that are happy to move this way. And they still have a 13.1%. Let's look at the other studies that aren't being included because the administration that we had didn't want the other studies to be funded and proven.
And the current one just canceled all studies of any health related matters.
Let's take care of what we need to take care of, and then we'll get back to this.
I do want to see. I just every time I look this up, it just kind of points towards they do exist, and they,
I think that they do, and I think we need to be accommodating to people that are living in that situation. But that doesn't mean that we need to transition kids just because they don't know who they are. Most kids don't know who they are as they're coming up. We're born of two biological sexes, male and female. So it is right that as we go through puberty, some people may not really identify in their body at that moment until they mature. That is a fact. That is a fact. You happen to be born in both sexes.
But is it overblown? Because the point is let's have these decent these little nitbit conversations where we nitpick at it. But I think at the end of the day, at least from the conservative perspective, they just don't want to acknowledge that trans people exist.
I don't think that's it at all.
Then why else would we have an executive order that says it has to be either whatever you're born as, we have to put that on your driver's license?
Because
that's cruel. Because that person's going to fucking
is-
show up to the gate. They give the driver's license to the TSA agent. And they're going to be like, my name is Josephine, and they have long hair, and then it's going to say male on their passport or their
Until we
their
figure
ID,
out
and then we're going to go what the that holds TSA
because
up.
because because you have there is another country that I think it's I don't know.
Point is, I'm just saying, I think from the conservatives, they just don't want to acknowledge that it
No.
exists at all.
No, that's not. That is the bone. I'm a conservative, and I'm admitting that it exists. So you're full of right now.
I feel like that's breaking
you
news.
Haven't you called yourself a liberal?
No, I'm
This is breaking
policy
news.
wise, I'm conservative. I believe liberally though we should live in a liberal life. And there's a lot of people like me that are fiscally conservative, believe in conservative policies, but liberally, how you live your life. I'm a liberal. I mean, I don't think anybody should have any say on how you
You're
live your
peanut
life.
butter and jelly in the same jar.
Yeah, that's called goobers.
Yeah, you a goober.
You have to live. You can't restrict people from doing what they want to do in their own home. I think that is more of a conservative statement than it is a liberal statement. I don't think that we should have reins on people what they do in their own house. But when you go out in public, when you go throughout your day, if you really, really want bathroom situations, let's go start with the simplest one. Why can't we just have more bathrooms that are family bathrooms where it doesn't make a difference? You go in there, you shut your door, you do your business. Why do we?
Or unisex or something?
Or a unisex bathroom. Why do we have to make it so complicated? But we need to do these things, and we need to come up with the policy in place before we just go, nope, we want girls, we want trans women in girl locker rooms for high school because that's the way we go now. And so there's kids.
Have you seen the
No,
trans
let me
men,
finish
though?
this because I want to say this because you want to jump into this. So now in a high school locker room, we have in the girls' locker room. Why? Why would that be that way? Why would you want to compete? Why do you want, if you had a daughter, why would you want her to compete with someone who is biologically stronger, more bone density, ready to go, and can kick her ass, even if they're the weakest boy at the school, can still kick her ass?
Well, but you just jumped from let's have some common ground to we're going to go to the sports.
I
thing.
jumped.
That's the
I
thing, though.
jumped. You've been jumping on everything that you say since we started this. So jump into what I just said and defend it.
Okay, so what was the first part of going into locker rooms?
We need to think it out better than what we have.
Okay, so if there's somebody that identifies as a trans man, have you seen the work that they're able to do with the surgeries these days? They look just like us. They look like slobs. The trans men, they look horrific in some scenarios. They look like just don't take care of themselves, blue collar working men. And their voices are deep. And then they go into women's bathrooms. Do you think women are going to be like comfortable with that?
My sister, I'm sorry to say, and I'm not trying to be mean to my sister, is a lesbian who's a sheriff. I'm not saying that she looks like a man. She doesn't.
She could open a coconut with a bare hand.
But she's not a weak girl. And I know a lot of her friends are not weak women, and some of them look way more masculine than she does. Way more masculine. I don't think my sister looks masculine, but I think a lot of her friends do. And they go into their bathrooms and they have no problem because they're not having that same mental issue where they're worried about, I come with the and I'm supposed to be I'm in the wrong bathroom because my shouldn't be here. That's part of the problem. So why don't we come up with the solution, which is a non-gender bathrooms?
I know, but the point I'm trying to make is conservatives just don't want to act like this exists.
That's not
See,
true.
You might say, since you're a conservative now, I'll say, you might say it only happens 1% of the time with 1% of the people, but you talk about it 85, 90% of the time.
We're talking
That's a
about it
good
because it's
fucking-
part of
that's
this.
a good
No,
fucking
it's
thing.
not because it's a part. If I'm the one talking about this, why did they make for 1%? Why did they make these changes throughout all policy, throughout all the schools and
Liberals
public?
do that. Liberals
Yeah,
do things to protect
because
people.
the car went
Whether you're
too
black,
fast.
Mexican,
Whether the car,
transgender, gay,
no,
LGBT.
no, I'm not going to let you put
They're
black,
trying to
Mexican.
support
No.
people that
I'm not
don't
going to
have a
let you
voice.
put black, Mexican, and race into transgender. I'm not going to let you do that. No, because that doesn't go. That doesn't go at all.
It's all just civil rights, baby.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Which
No, it's
Trump
not.
repealed that too.
No, it's not. And no, he didn't.
Well,
No, he didn't.
a couple things. And
Yeah,
it looks
but
pretty.
so now you just see Trump repealed civil rights.
Well, I didn't say he
And-
repealed the civil rights.
Yes, you did. That is
but
exactly what he just said.
he
Didn't he
re-
just say Trump repealed civil rights?
yeah.
He repealed a civil rights executive order given by Lyndon B. Johnson that's never been touched on, stepped on. Why?
I don't know, but now,
Hey,
now
blacks for Trump.
now take it from there. You don't know what he repealed, and you just went, "Hey, blacks for Trump." Find out the answers before you just jump in.
Well, didn't he repeal it to the extent of?
We don't know. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. But I need the information.
Okay, I know you need the information for technical reasons, but I smell on this.
Well, let's see what he repealed.
Why would you repeal that?
I don't know. Let's see what he repealed. If Mark would stop trying to think about about in the wrong place, we would already have this up here.
It's in the wrong place. He's Trump. If this repeal thing is what it is, his about to be in our asses.
So, the rule Trump nuked, Executive Order 11246, forbade federal contractors from discriminating on the basis of race, color, religion, national origin, sex, sexual orientation, or gender identity. So I'll throw civil rights under all those things, and granted the Labor Department the power to enforce its provisions through a contracting standards office. I don't know what it means. Obviously, it's an executive order, but it seems fishy.
It means, hey, blacks for Trump. That's what it means.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No.
Because if he's repealing it and making it so, and you know that there are white employers or people that own businesses that are not going to hire people because of color and sex and gender.
Okay, so if a black business now wants to do...
Why are you swinging it to a black
No,
business?
because what I'm saying is, and this is what we forget. This is what we seem to be forgetting. Black business owners have to follow certain rules now because they were put up at one time to get blacks ahead of on the curve because they were below the curve. And as they come up on the curve, now you are in a good place. Now, if I want to do business with another black business, but that could be construed as being of a racist move because I want to work with other black guys. I want to work with another black business. As a black business owner, I want to do business with another black business.
So why can't you?
Because you're not allowed to discriminate. So if I say I went with this business because they're black, that's discrimination. With equality comes discrimination.
It feels like white tricks.
No, I'm just saying that could be part of it. I'm not saying it is. Who knows what it is? I would have to read more about this. But
I would love to get deeper into this, but what I do want to do is, because we only got like maybe less than 4 minutes left, because I mentioned this earlier, I would like to get into asking this question. So does mass deportation, is it going to hurt the economy?
Did it hurt when Obama did it?
Apparently not.
5.1 million people he deported.
So how come everybody on TikTok and on the social media goes, you get rid of all the Mexicans, it's going to hurt the economy. The illegal immigrants, you get rid of them, it's going to hurt the economy. Why are they saying that?
I don't know 100% sure, but like they are saying that there's like kind of like, in certain states it's like 30, 40, 50% of like farm workers are not showing up for work anymore. So I'm wondering if that was happening while Obama was doing his because now it's so out in the open.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't hurting them the same way when Obama was doing it.
The what?
It wasn't hurting the same way when Obama was doing it.
Why is that?
Because the media wasn't suckers, and the media wasn't, and the people that working against Trump weren't going out and causing these problems with sanctuary cities where all Trump, if they wanted to get rid of this, they could do it tomorrow by saying that the sanctuary cities, when we arrest someone or we have someone in custody that's illegal and has committed a crime, we are going to give them to ICE. And if they did that, they wouldn't have to go on these raids that they're doing now that are going to pick up other people. So these sanctuary cities, Obama didn't have this fight that Trump is having because the orange man is the bad man. And so because he is the one saying it now, that's the problem. This is a problem because the United States, and this is where the liberal divide, when you say conservatives are this way, and then we look at liberals that were doing the same thing but didn't get the same pushback, and that's what's causing the conservatives to be the assholes.
I saw a tweet by Matt Gaetz, and I think this kind of...
I don't think he's in politics anymore.
Well, it's actually funny. So Matt Gaetz, what was he going to be? Secretary of State, Department of Defense?
I don't. Yeah.
Oh, Attorney General.
Attorney General.
Yeah. So when the president of Colombia, that just happened recently, is I guess like they turned around the planes or whatever that had the illegals on it, and Matt Gaetz goes, "Don't f with us on this, dude. You will be taking your criminals back the easy way or the hard way. This is not the fight with America you want. We want friendly relations with our neighbors, but friends don't leave their own in each other's homes." Now, I get this batch of them, it's probably criminals. But to refer to people as just kind of describes like, do you really care about the economy, the American people, or are we just scapegoating these people because that it just feels good and it feels like you're getting something done?
Okay,
calling human beings, which listen, obviously criminals, like yes, we should be able to get rid of them. I'm guessing they're skipping some due processes. That's how they're able to do it so quickly. Fine, whatever. But like, we don't even know how hardcore of criminals these guys are.
Okay, first of all,
we're just calling people.
Okay, first of all, you can't have you don't need due process if you're not a citizen. What is the due process?
No, I mean, technically the laws now with the asylum is if you claim asylum, and I'm not saying that's a perfect thing, but it doesn't mean just because you're not a citizen, you don't get to stand in front of
technically to claim
trial.
asylum, you have to come through the gates of the United States, not through just being picked up by by agents and then saying, "I claim asylum." That's not how it works. That's how Biden let it happen. That's why we have this many people here. So yes, we are going to have to make some little minor changes to affect what happened to this country. This isn't supposed to be this way, man. I don't understand why this is an argument. And when you're saying what you're saying, you're talking about the criminals. I don't think that I have a problem with if we're talking about criminals and conflating them with garbage people. I'm a criminal. I did some. I was garbage people. I took my blame for it. I got in trouble for what I did. I accepted my responsibility. I did some garbage.
I'm just saying, I think most asylum seekers come to the port end.
They didn't come through the port of entry.
Well, why not? All you have to do is say you claim asylum, and they let you in.
Because they couldn't even get in because they come they would have to come through ports of entry.
Why would you jump the fence when you just go to the thing and they'll let you in? And if you claim asylum, that's like part of the.
Keep reading, Mark. That's part of the no. That's part of the problem. That's why this was a problem because
but you're claiming that they're just jumping over the fence.
They don't have to jump the fence. There's no fence.
And also, visa overstays are the #1 way of people staying in the country, not jumping over a fence or claiming asylum. Yeah, fact checking is hard.
Dude, there's some common sense to this, and we're not using our common sense. That's all the bottom line to this is. The other thing, like you said, I would like to know more about what he repealed. I would like to know more about that because that was not something that was talked about.
It's just an executive order. It wasn't like a law.
No, but he still repealed it through an executive order. But why? He repealed an executive order through another executive order. It's interesting.
I mean, my gist is I feel like it's just non-virtue, virtual signaling.
Maybe.
All right, that's our time.
Is that it? Is that all we got?
We've did
I don't
an
want
hour
to.
and
I don't
2
want to
minutes.
do this for 4 years, man. I really don't.
Well, we won't. We'll mix in some other.
This is just. It's too much. I can't even because I can't defend this guy wholeheartedly. I can defend actions, but him, I can't defend him. He just. You know when that whole.
You know, I'm gonna tell you something, man, and I don't know, but I don't know. I feel like I'm starting to like this dude, man.
Why you like?
And you know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, let me be honest. This show's funny to me.
Listen, I would be okay. Honestly, I want him to govern, and I just can't get behind someone that tells me how good he's governing. Govern well. Let me tell you that you're governing
He's
well.
like the president of the WWF. He's a WWF president.
You know why I don't like people that tell you how good they are? And this is why. Because, like Tom Brady, not that he would say he was good, but we all knew he was good. So as soon as he got good and they beat every team, what did everybody start rooting against? You root against. I need him to be humble and let's root for. You don't root for people that tell you how great you are. You just don't do it. You don't do it because you get sick of those people. And I'm already sick of them, and it's only been a few days.
President Trump is the macho man. You're the first WWF president of the United States. There's a rumor going around that the Republicans are trying to come up with a bill to give you a third term. If you could be president for a third term, Donald J. Trump, would you do it? I would say, do an analogy.
If they try to give him a third term, I'll lose my mind. He has no
You know what
business.
would be
with a third
hot
term.
if they came up with a bill where he could do a third term that would automatically mean any other president that's ever run before, you now can also run again.
So you get a
Obama versus Trump, the smackdown of the galaxy. Intelligence versus Trump.
bravado.
Bravado, thank you. Mano y mano, black versus white. Ugh. And you know what would sadden me about that, honestly? Because I got a strong gut feeling that if that could happen, so many whites are going to vote for Trump because they're against the nigga. And no, don't give me that look, Andy.
No, I'm thinking.
But my people ain't going to show up and show out. My people going to go, man, Barack ain't do for us, so we going to vote for Trump. So Trump going to already have his white fan base that's going to vote for him because he's white. But then so many of our people are going to turn our backs like we do on our own and go for Trump.
Can I ask you a different question, though, about the same thing?
Be careful with the white tricks. Go ahead.
Let's say they said he could have a third term.
Obama.
Anyone. So
Right.
this after this 4 years,
Yeah.
Obama could run and Trump could run. They can run against each
Together,
other.
yeah.
And the economy is killing it. The border's secure. All the things are done. You're still going to say, my people didn't come out from my people when they voted for what's best for what's going on for them at that moment?
When Obama was president, he killed it too.
Yeah, but I'm saying if he had it in order and it was running smooth and everything was going the way that you wanted to, you're making money, the country's in good shape, there's no wars, everything is the things that he said about it.
Okay.
And you want to change administrations?
Yes, because Obama's track record was good. If his track record was bad and the country was under him, then yeah, you got a point. But because he had a great track record, when his presidency came to an end after his second term, if he could have gone to a third term, I have no doubt he would have been voted back in office for a third term. I have no doubt about it.
I'm not going to disagree. I don't know.
To answer your question, because he did have a great track record and because he kicked ass for 8 years, absolutely.
But if you have someone that's already kicking ass, why are you switching? Tell me why you're switching.
Because I know that Obama could do the job just as well and be presidential.
Okay, I will take that.
And remember, Obama took an economy that was and cleaned that up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going with the nigga.
Yeah.
Them white tricks.
This
tried to get me with white tricks. I'm standing by that.
But I'm still saying, if you have a great economy, everything is working.
Oh, that's cute. Great, it's working. So I get what you're saying, though. Why would you switch from a thing that's already moving like a well-oiled machine but I'm not going into the unknown. I'm going into the known. Obama had a great track record. He kicked ass. He served 2 terms consecutively. He took a economy and turned it into beautiful.
He took a potential, not even a economy. He took a potential, like the end of America kind of economy.
And then he did what he do. We take the ball and we run with it, and we score, and we dance in the end zone, and we look spectacular.
Yeah, I'll always give him credit for that.
So
100%.
I'm going with the black man.
But if things are running, I don't make changes when things are running the way.
So as much as you despise Trump, if Obama had a chance to run up against him, you still sticking with Trump?
Is the economy great? Are we making money? There's no wars. Everything is set the way that you would want. The perfect scenario is already there.
Man, go on and admit you just like Trump.
I
Just admit
no,
it, nigga.
no. I'm saying. Ask me the question the other way. The economy's rolling. Obama's in office. He can run for a third term. Do I stay with him? Yes, without a doubt. Why do you switch when it's working?
Because you get 2 things out of Obama where you only get one thing out of Trump.
I'm not guaranteed that his policy changes would change the environment.
You talking about Obama's?
Yeah. I'm not saying he doesn't know what he's doing, but it would be a change in policy. Would it change it?
If I did it twice, by the way, that means I can do it again.
I wouldn't switch Obama if he could have ran for a third term, and I wouldn't switch. But here's the thing. Here's the main thing. They better not do that because he doesn't need to be there for a third term. One, I don't want him for another 4 years after this. I want him to do a good job. I'm rooting for him. I want him to do a good job. I need that torch to be passed on to someone else because 2 reasons. One, he's going to be too old. Number one,
That's true.
old. And number 2, it's time to move on. And I think we'll need some changes. It will need some changes, though. We don't need somebody who's this divisive for past this next 4 years. He is divisive. And as much as I think we can get past the divisiveness that he has, we are all on the same team. But this is the one president that makes me feel like we are divided. And when I voted for Biden last time, it was because of that reasoning. And that's why I said I call it the press. Hold Biden as accountable. They did not. But this dude makes me feel more divided than I feel the same thing that I felt from his first presidency. I feel we're going to be divided. I don't want to be divided. I live in America. I want America to understand what it actually is, and that means all of us are here on the same team. We have different ideas. That doesn't mean we don't all work together to get to a better place. It's the idea that there's one in the Constitution where it says a more perfect union. That's not the sentence is not correct. There's no such thing as you can't have a more perfect union. The words don't make sense unless you think about what it really means. That we work together knowing that this isn't perfect, but it's as perfect as we can get it, and we would like it to be more perfect every year. And that's what we're working for. And that's the goal of the country. And not this. Not this. I want the changes that he's going to make, but I need him to go. All right, here's where we are. We are in Atlanta, and again, as Ari said, helium, you knocked it out of the park. I think this is going to be one of your best in your chain. Is this one right here? And how do you say this again?
Alpharetta.
Alpharetta, man. It's cool out here. I like it. I do wish it was a little closer to the city so that I could go do some city. But
Home of Dr. King,
we might
Atlanta, Georgia.
We may have to come a day earlier next time.
Next time we're going to go to Magic City so I could see some shaking booties and titties. I want to be able to get a lap dance while I rolls a blunt and eats a chicken wing at the same time.
And next week, we're going to be January 30th through February 1st. We're going to be at the Miami Improv. People who love comedy, come out to the Miami Improv. It's a beautiful club. Don't come out there because you just want to go dance with your girl and you want to talk to her about show her that you know comedy. Come out because you like comedy. Bring your girl, but like comedy, which means shut the up and listen to the people on stage and not try to get a hand job under the table. So we'll see you at Miami Improv, January 30th to February 1st. February 13th to the 15th, we're going to be at Wise Guys in West Salt Lake City. That's in Utah. I hope everybody knows that. February 21st to the 22nd, we're going to be at the Funny Bone in Albany, New York. February 27th through March 2nd, we're going to be at the D.C. Improv. Obviously in D.C., we're going to be, you know what? We're doing 2 Trumps. We're doing Miami, which is actually in Doral. And then we're going to D.C., where the dude doesn't...
That's not back-to-back, is it?
No, but we got the Funny Bone. We got just 2 dates in between. But in a month, we're going to be at both places. I'm going to see if I can get you in. I'm going to call my guy.
February going to be cold as a...
March 7th through the 8th, we're going to be at the Funny Bone in Virginia Beach. March 13th through the 16th, we're going to be at the Improv in Ontario, California. Looking forward to going back out and see you guys. And I'm going to give this one out because we haven't been here before. I don't know. Have you ever been here? March 20th through the 22nd, One Night Stands in Michigan, in Waterford Township. Have you ever been there? Yeah, we're going to be there. Guys, if you listen to this, if people are always hitting us up, when you come to Michigan, when you come to Michigan, when you come to Michigan, we're in Michigan. I've never been to One Night Stands, but come on out, support the show, support our comedy. We want to see you in Michigan. Michigan, stop talking about when we're coming out. We're out. Support.
Yep.
Is that a show?
Yeah, you know what we're calling this one?
Yeah, I have no idea. What do you got?
You know, I thought, because people don't like when you and I talk politics, and they go, well, when you guys talk politics, we either skip or we don't watch. So I'm like, since we talking politics, for those people, nothing to see here. That's the name of this one. Nothing to see here.
I like it. All right, guys.
Spears and Steinberg.
Thanks for listening to the Spears and Steinberg podcast. For more information on where to find us on the internet, visit spearsburgpod.com.